Greetings, everyone. This is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the daughter of Faye. Kind of pulling my life together. Y'all, listen. Get your lives right. Listen, I gotta get up off this social media. This shit is a whole ass mess. This shit is a whole ass mess. And it's only gonna get more extreme. I just promise you that. I'll tell you the difference in what it's just we're just living in some interesting times. That's all I got to say about that. Greetings, those of you who are tuning in from IG, from YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. My name is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the daughter of Fates. The day of days. I say that a lot lately because it's true a lot lately. Understand? Happy Dia de los Muertos. I know it was a couple of days ago, but everybody is celebrating today. Yeah. And happy Native American Awareness Month. That also has begun. And yeah, I reposted, for those of you who do not know yet, I reposted the interview that Sister Lotus Flower 68 conducted with me a few weeks ago. She sent me the copy of the interview and gave me permission to repost it on my page as a live. So I did that. I scheduled that for this morning. So I've been getting a lot of feedback from that. And I rewatched it because of the feedback that I had been getting. And, you know, you guys seem to really enjoy it. And yeah, so there's a lot that I want to do. Look, obviously, I love to teach. And yeah, so obviously, I love to teach. So that will lead me to this. Send people to my YouTube channel. Greetings, Carlotta. Send people to my YouTube channel. Have them subscribe to my channel. I am still short the subscribers I need to attempt to monetize my page. Now, I'm going to tell you this disclaimer. I may not be able, I've been saying for a long time, I may not be able to monetize my page. Now, they have given me the benchmarks through which I have to meet these benchmarks in order to attempt to monetize my page. However, the likelihood of them monetizing my page, I think, might be slim to none, personally. So the second part of that is support my shit. I'm going to be working diligently over the next couple of weeks. I've already started doing some writing. So I'm going to start working diligently to fight to have this website erected. We already have a domain that we purchased. A friend of mine is building a website for me. We've already purchased the domain. The domain will be Eve Emo. EVE. Wait a minute. No. EVOME. EVOEME.org. EVOEME.org. And so it's in, I won't go there. But anyway, so that's going to be the domain. We've already purchased it. I've got a lot. I hate with a deep and visceral passion bureaucratic shit. I hate it. I hate it so much. I can feel myself being subdued and undone just by general paperwork. I hate it so I hate the bureaucracy of making shit happen. It fucking destabilizes me. I hate it so much. And so I'm in another phase, the first phase of setting up the temple, which was that. It took about, I think the final stage ended in April when I finally got all paperwork necessary to get our checking account. But that shit took like a total of like 5 months of just daily task mastering bureaucratic bullshit. I hate that shit. But I'm at this phase now where I'm having to jump both feet first into more bureaucratic shit. Paperwork that I still have to do. This is about I have to find a fucking lawyer or some shit because I don't have a clue about how to pay myself. Like once the temple is really up and running and we start generating resources and getting grants and stuff like that, like, do I have to be a separate entity as the founder of the temple? If so, what does that mean? What kind of business license do I have to have that's different than the business license that the temple has? Blah, blah, blah. It's like so much shit. It's so much shit. And I just feel overwhelmed. I'll be honest. I feel overwhelmed every time I think about paperwork. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So support the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. You can do that by right now, Cashapp, Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle. Always put donation as what it is you're doing. Even if you get a reading from me, enter it as a donation. Even if you get a reading from me or a consult from me, enter it as a donation until I figure out this, like separating my personal pay from like what I do in terms of handling the resources for the temple, which are few right now. But still, I want to be on the front end of it instead of playing catch up on the back end. So if you're tuning in from IG and you want to make a donation to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, do so right now by emailing me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. I still haven't figured out a way on my IG yet to show you guys how to make a donation. So if you're tuning in from IG, just email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. I'm still working on the proposal for the event. So I made up my mind like yesterday. I had like very practical chores. I had chores. I had to clean my place because I look like a borderline hoarder yesterday. So I made several runs to the Goodwill and shit. I made 2 runs to the Goodwill today. Took stuff to friends, donating shit. Like I'm trying to downsize like crazy. If you're tuning in from Facebook, I can't see you. StreamYard hasn't figured that out yet. So if you are watching from Facebook, just shout yourself out. Let me know who's tuning in from Facebook. Appreciate it. But yeah, yo, T, greetings. How you doing? Omatasla. I hope Omitasla. I hope I pronounced that right. Greetings. Contomble Healing. Good to see you again. Hope I pronounced that right. But yeah, anyway, so I had like to clean up. I've been multitasking on different stuff, making jewelry over here, making candles over here, still seeing people in my office back there doing this right here. And I'm studying a lot. My brain feels swollen right now because I made this promise about how I'm gonna take y'all to church come Sunday. I'm gonna do a whole little old school church style presentation on the end of times this Sunday. And that has had me in that little Bible something fierce. I was up in that book last night till about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm tired. And then I still had to fill out some other paperwork for some other stuff. My work as a massage therapist. So I told you I got my hands in everything. So as a massage therapist, like an official massage therapist, that paperwork I finally completed today. And then I got my other, like unofficial healing work. You feel me? I got this over here, my Etsy page. I'm still making. I got so much going. I haven't picked up an instrument, and I'm embarrassed to say how long. I need to be practicing music, but I don't even know how to fit it into a day with all the shit I have to do. Anyway, I'm venting right now. How y'all do? Tanya, how you doing? Listen, Despite it sounds like I'm complaining, I am not. I feel good about my life. I am always amazed by the mother's presence in my life. Always. I always feel, I was saying that to myself today, like I feel like a little kid most days. I feel the kind of, you know, how kids just believe everything. Like, you know, everything. They believe everything. Why wouldn't they? They haven't grown up to be, you know, jaded and shit yet. And so kids just walk around with a sense of wonder, and they just trust, and they just love living, like they love existing. And I feel that way most days, even when like I gotta clean up. Oh my god, I spent hours yesterday, hours yesterday organizing and cleaning my bedroom. Like I had so much stuff from my storage unit just piled up in there. My bedroom had become a personal storage unit, child, and it was driving me crazy. I was up at 5:30 in the morning. I was like, I'm not doing nothing today until I clean my motherfucking room. I organized every paper. I threw furniture away yesterday. Listen, I was in this motherfucker yesterday like a motherfucker on a mission. You understand? And but even cleaning my room yesterday, I was just like, I feel that way. I feel that way. I feel there are days when I get heavy because I miss my family, man. I miss my babies. I miss my daughter. I miss my grandkids. I really, really do. I really, really do. It's been a year and 3 months now since they moved out. I miss them every single day. However, like the hurtful part of missing them, I've passed. And so most days I still feel that way. And even if I have a very mundane day, I just feel so amazed. I'm not lying. I feel so fucking fortunate. Even with my rude, loud upstairs neighbors, just rude for no reason, rude. Most days, not most days, every day, every day, every day. I feel so fortunate. I feel so fortunate. So fortunate. It's so I don't even know how to describe it. I was listening to this interview that Sister Lotus Flower conducted with me a couple of weeks ago today. And I'm gonna tell you, I joke a lot with you guys about being a genius. But you know what they say about things said in jest. I mean that shit. Even when I laugh and kiki about it, I mean that shit. Like, yo. I'm a fucking genius. And the thing is that you may detect there was a little bit of hesitation there. That's still residual shit from my conditioning. That slight, tiny little hesitation to say I'm a fucking genius, right? It's my conditioning. Because see, we're not accustomed to people like me having the level of audacity that allows ourselves to speak freely and uninhibitedly to say and recognize our genius. But the reason that I can say I'm a genius, and the reason that I can say it with my chest out, and the reason that I can say it with a straight face and with a little cocky in my voice about it, is because I know where it emanates from. And it does not come from outside of me. Because that's the other thing that we do is when we recognize we have a skill, we always want to give praise and honor to something outside of ourselves, reaffirming our lowliness. That ain't what I'm doing. When I say I'm a fucking genius, I mean that shit. When I say it does not come from outside me, I mean that shit. I mean, how fortunate, how fortunate we are when we come to a place in our lives where we recognize that the lessons that where we recognize that the lessons that we have learned, the work that we have done, the voices of our ancestors that's in our flesh that we have listened to and heeded when they spoke, the rituals we have done, the prayers we have made, the prayers our grandmothers have made, the prayers their grandmothers have made for our lives, for their lineage, to, to be reborn in selves that are in a world made free by their former selves. Baby, to be so fortunate to remember why you chose this life. To be so fucking fortunate, to be so clear minded, to be so clear about what it is that is being called of you to do, to know your purpose on earth and to know it confidently. That, I am convinced, is why so many people are so sick and so sad and so lost and so dismayed, is because they have not yet gotten to this place that I am in this moment. In this moment, fully, confidently, unwaveringly aware of why I am here and who I am in that. Ooh, who I am in that. Listen, this shit is, listen, I am not joking with you when I tell you that these months that we are entering into are going to be monumental and pivotal on a personal level and on a global scale. And are we ready? Are we listening? Are we paying attention? Are we sitting in silence? So that we can confidently say, I know why I am here. So that we can uninhibitedly say, I am a fucking genius because I am the best of the cells and the DNA that my grandmothers gave to me. What does that mean? What does that mean? Let me tell you something. I love me. It took a long time for me to be able to say that. Every now and again, I might even backslide a little when when I'm rubbing my belly and being like, man, bitch, you know, you need to do a little bit of this stomach. You know what I'm saying? And then I snap back like, bitch, you created a whole goddamn human in this body of yours. I love me. I love me. Oh, I love me. How can I not? My mother made me, and I love her. And how can I not love my mother when her mother made her and I love her? And how can I not when the mother made us? Understand? Baby Spirit had me in here on one today. You feel me? Like, I'm like, yes, bitch, I'm a genius. I'm listening to this motherfucking interview. I'm like, damn, where that shit came from? Every time I open my mouth, I hear my mother. Okay? Every time I open my mouth, I hear my mother. That's why I can say I'm a motherfucking genius. Because my mother is the one. My earthly mother is the one, just like my heavenly mother is the one. That's why I can say I'm a fucking genius. Bitch, I crafted a whole motherfucking human with her own personal destiny out of my body. Shaped and molded and crafted that motherfucker right here in my abdomen, right in my uterus. I did that. And I didn't even have an orgasm to show for it. I did that. You know what I'm saying? Crafted up. And I was deliberate. I was so young. I was 19 when I got pregnant with my baby. And I didn't know much of nothing, but I was like, you know what? I want to have a happy baby. I remember consciously, baby, I didn't know nothing. I remember consciously saying, when my baby daddy said that if you keep the baby We ain't fucking with each other no more. And I remember saying to myself, now I know it was spirit intervening. It was a voice in my head. You got one or two choices. You can be miserable through your pregnancy and have a miserable ass baby, have a miserable ass human, or you can have the time of your life while you pregnant and deal with the other F. And baby, when I tell you I made it my personal mission, I went dancing every week of my pregnancy. Every week. I was majoring in music. I was in college when I got pregnant. I was playing the saxophone. My major instrument was the saxophone, but I was taking piano. I was taking classical guitar. I was singing, and I was playing in 3 different bands in the music program that I was on a full scholarship for. I was playing music. My baby and my belly was hearing me play instruments all day long, 5 days a week. And then we was hippies. So we'd go out after school and play the drums in the quad. We'd have a drumming circle on the front quad of the school. You feel me? Swimming in Bulldog Bend, Montevallo, Alabama. 3 days a week. Parties all the time. I was waiting tables at a cute little jazz club where they would let me sing between my tables. We used to go dancing at this 70s retro disco club called Bell Bottoms in Birmingham, Alabama. When I say I had a blast while I was pregnant, I had an awesome, wonderful pregnancy because I demanded it. I commanded it. So when I say I shaped that human being, I sculpted and molded her. I was deliberate. I was a vegetarian while I was pregnant. Had never been a vegetarian in my life, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna eat meat while I'm pregnant with this human. I can do away with my vices for a little bit of time to ensure that this human has the best of what life has to offer health-wise. I did that. And I had such an extraordinary fucking pregnancy. I had so much fun. When I tell you I had so much fun that I missed being pregnant after I had my baby. I would be in the mirror like, I missed being pregnant. And I'm going to tell you why in hindsight. I missed being pregnant because even the way people treated me was so much different. I had never been showered with so much affection. When any woman that's had babies can tell you that. While you're pregnant, the world centers around you. Most of us are fortunate enough that have peoples around us that'll go run a little errands for us, get us a little food, worry about feet and shit, you feel me? Like, yeah. My roommate, so I spent the first part of my pregnancy in school, and then I moved in with a friend of mine who was a drag queen by night, suit and tie guy by day. That dude spoiled me rotten to the core. When I say rotten, he wouldn't let me cook. I'd be in the kitchen. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Go sit down. I got it. Wouldn't let me cook. Wouldn't let me wash the dishes. When I say I was spoiled rotten when I was pregnant, that might have been what I was missing in hindsight. Because after you have a baby, you ain't no longer the center. The baby is the center. That might have been what I was missing. But I had such an extraordinary pregnancy. I shaped and crafted that motherfucker. You understand? My child. You feel me? In my own body. And so when I read the story about Ruth internalizing her power after having been transformed, after she gave birth and she simultaneously experienced birth, because she was born too in that moment. She was born to the status of mother as she bore her child, and recognizing the power that came with that, and called out to the heavens saying, my mouth is enlarged over my enemies. Bitch, I'm God in here. I'm really God. Like, I really just took abstract, infinite possibility and condensed it in the portal of my body and made it tangible, made it a material force. I did that shit. So when I say I'm a fucking genius, I mean that shit. To be still in a way that you can see, when the webs of time spun by the fates make they're crossings. And you can see when the strands cross. You can see when the connections are made. You can see how something that was mere abstraction to you 10 years ago, because it wasn't in your frame of reference, but you had to put a little seed of memory somewhere, that becomes something that in real time you can see, oh shit, that little piece of information from 10 years ago, this is why it makes sense. This is why I needed to keep it. To see that shit happen in real time. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. It's so fucking goddamn amazing. You understand? It's so incredible to listen. Let me tell y'all, when I say, so I tell y'all all the time, like, I go back frequently. Every time one of y'all make a comment on one of my videos, like after the fact, I check my comments. I'm like, if the comment is like good, or it seems like the video was impactful, some of y'all will even mark minutes. That's dope, because I want to know what moved you. You feel me? So that's helpful. There's several people that do that. I appreciate that. I will go back and watch, because again, there is so much in my head. That's why I teach. Now, I need to perfect the art of teaching in a way that gets me paid, because I give y'all a lot of shit. I give y'all a lot of goddamn gold. I give y'all a lot of gold. My little personal manager, my unofficial manager, Brother Abasi in Baltimore, he stayed kicking my ass. He stayed being in my phone. You said too fucking much, Cassandra. Save some shit so you can sell some shit. Stop giving away gems for free when you know motherfuckers is always laying up on your shit to steal some shit. Because that has happened. That's not my imagination. That has happened. I have had to call people out for that. But I have an enthusiasm, in case you did not know or could not tell, for teaching. And it's because I have so much piled up in here. So much. You know, like the little alien dudes. What was that show where the heads was really, really big and the bodies was like that big? That's how I feel sometimes. Like my head is that big, and if I could just dump shit. You feel me? I can make more room for more shit. I know it seemed like I'm rambling, but I told you at the beginning, today was a day of days. And it started with some comments that I had gotten about the thank you for acknowledging that. Thank you for acknowledging it, T. I appreciate that. It means a lot. It really, really does. I'm telling you, if you could hear some of my conversations with Abasi, like you'd be like he really be on, he be deep in my shit. He be really deep in my shit. Like he say if I could just tell you to just shut up, like if I could just be on the call with you and snatch your collar every time you get to saying too much, because you get all excited, you get all enthusiastic, and then you just want to give everybody the juice. I get it both ways. Because I bet you got bills to pay. My rent is expensive. I live in motherfucking Hollywood. Bitch, my rent is $2,200 a month. Okay? It's a lot. And so he's like, you ain't got it like that yet. You know what I'm saying? You can't afford to work for free. You feel me? Yeah, you always say get that money. So one of the things I am going to do is I'm going to start doing workshops. Because that shit that I did on that interview, that was gold. You can have somebody else. You can have some Chinese doctor, somebody schooled in the arts, the five elements theory, teach what I taught, and they will not teach it the way I taught it, because they don't have my worldview, because they're not black, because they don't have my fucking background, because they don't have 10 years in a revolutionary organization, because they have not had children or grandchildren. They're not me, because they don't have an intimate, organic relationship with the mother, because they are not compliant to the elements. So I gave y'all gold when I did that interview. When I did that 3-hour interview with that sister, I gave y'all gold up in there. You feel me? I hope you took notes. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna stop digressing, but it's the first time I think it's the first time I've even opened my mouth. No, I had one phone conversation today. Like it's been like that. I've been up in here deep in it today. Okay, so y'all ready for this book? I know y'all like to hear me ramble and shit, but now we got to get up in this book because Mary got something to say. Somebody asked me, who was it? Thank you, Tanya Amore. I agree, dear. I concur. Somebody asked me just a few days ago who was Mary Daly, and I was like, yeah, she went to seminary school, whatever. No, but who was she? Like, I really want to know like how she became who she is. So I did a whole deep dive on Mary Daly, who is the she said she said I'm ready to get my edges snatched. Oh my god. Y'all be killing me in y'all response to this book, baby. Anyway, I read a whole lot of information on Mary Daly. And it's the one, she had a really interesting life. She, like I said, she just died in 2010. But she had she had a really interesting life. And I suspect that it was much more interesting. Like, I don't know. They might, and there's still 2 books that she wrote that I don't have. I didn't realize she had 2 additional books. So I got to find them because supposedly they're out of print. But anyway, she had a really interesting life. And the reason for her deep, visceral hatred, I guess, for the church was because she was born and raised in the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, like devout Roman Catholic. And even when she started her career, she was trying to hold on to her Catholicism, even as she was becoming a feminist. And so when she started teaching at Boston University, maybe, or something like that. She was in the process of basically trying to equalize the Roman Catholic Church. She was still holding on to her faith. And she was like, trying to just make it where, it was like equal in the church, like between women and men or whatever. And the deeper she got in her studies, the more she became enraged. And then she went all left. She was like, oh, okay, there ain't no equalizing this shit. This shit is insidious, and its whole essence is the subjugation of women. There ain't no equalizing this shit. All there is destroying this shit. Maybe she set out on a mission to destroy all religion. That's what she did. That's what it said in her Wikipedia, that she set out on a mission to destroy all religion. That all religious institutions have as their foundation the subjugation of women. I said, oh shit, Mary was about that life. She was about that life, y'all. Like, the story, y'all go to her Wikipedia. That shit was deep. I was like, oh shit. Nah, it can't work. And that's why that shit was short-lived, T. That's why it was short-lived. She was like, oh no, I was mistaken. I was mistaken. I was thinking I was gonna be up in here, like fighting the system from within the system. She's like, no, we gotta dismantle this bitch brick by brick. Anyway, so for those of you who are following along, for those of you who do not know what the hell I'm talking about, we are reading and have been now for 2 weeks the book Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. Just like Sister T said, get ready to have your edges snatched, have your wig pulled off. You understand? She about that life. So we're going to start on page 252. This is where we left off. We are the 3rd paragraph from the top. And you know what? She left us in our feelings yesterday. So we're going to pick up on this section entitled, oh, I do have one more. Y'all gonna hate me. I do have one more thing I have to say. So I did not finish the proposal last night because something happened. So what had happened was, I told y'all, I don't steal, okay? I do not steal people's ideas. I do not take credit for some shit that is not mine. I don't do that. So when I was thinking about the reading from the night before last, and I was like, oh my God, this is our event. This is our event. I was like, you know what? Let me just do, that's what I do for everything. If I think I done had an epiphany, you feel me? If I think I done had a breakthrough, the first thing I'm doing is Googling the shit. Does this already exist? And so I wanted to call the event. I can tell y'all now because we obviously ain't gonna call it that because it already exists. I wanted to call the event Breaking Taboos, right? Because she go off about how taboo breakers are going to be the dismantlers of patriarchy. What she say right here? Oh, here it is. She said on page 244, she said what women need to be, I'm paraphrasing, but focused and complete violators of the most unnatural taboos so that we can undermine all phallic rule. That's what she said. That's what she said. We need to be focused and complete violators of all taboos so that we can undermine and overturn phallic rule. You understand? She said that since wild natural women are taboo breakers, why are we taboo breakers? Why are wild natural women taboo breakers? Because we exist. What did she say the original sin was? Being born female. Well, goddamn, if your existence is a sin, you might as well sin on purpose. What she say? You might as well have the courage to sin. That's what she said. Have the courage to sin. If your very existence is sin, you might as well sin on purpose. You might as well have the courage to sin. Because why? Because natural wild women are the taboo breakers of the millennium. We are taboo in our being, and our transgressions are incalculably courageous and contagious. What's the saying? I used to be in this organization called the African People's Socialist Party. You feel me? And one of the slogans for the African People's Socialist Party was about the connectedness of African people, both at home and abroad, built on, Marcus Garvey's Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad, right? And starting from there, the party used to say, if you touch one African, you touch them all, right? Touch one, touch all. That was the chant. Touch one, touch all. You feel me? Right here she say, since natural wild women are the taboo breakers of the millennia, we are ourselves taboo, and our transgressions are incalculably courageous and contagious. When we touch one woman, we touch them all. Ooh, she talked about what? Us as the touchable caste. But now we have to break all the taboos so that we can set the terms for our touchability. What did she say last night in this reading about our touchability and the impact that it has on other women? What she said, persons or things which are regarded as taboo may be compared to objects charged with electricity. They are the seat of tremendous power, which is transmissible by contact and may be liberated with destructive effect if the organism which provoke its discharge are too weak to resist it. Huh? What? Wait a minute. What did that mean in layman's terms? Persons or things regarded as taboo. Who is taboo? We are. Why? Because we are born. We are born as the original sin, not of original sin, as the original sin. We are. We are the ultimate taboo. Females. We are the ultimate taboo. And this is the taboo, the female, might be likened to objects charged with electricity. They are the seat of tremendous power, and which is transmissible by contact and may be liberated with destructive effect if the organism that provokes that taboo, what's the organism always provoking the taboo? Males. Which if the organism which provokes its discharge is too weak to resist it. Musing upon this passage, muses can make the comparison of ourselves, to the objects charged with electricity. For women, touching women are the seat of tremendous power, which is transmissible to other women by contact. The liberation of this power will indeed be perceived as destructive by the chiefs and the priests and the pigs and the politicians. And I'm putting everybody up in here. She just said the priests and the chiefs, but I'm saying the politicians, the preachers, the fuck boys, who else? The police, who else? Everybody of reversal. For as necrophilic organisms, death-loving organisms, they recognize that they are too weak to resist such power, which has gynergizing creative effect upon inherently strong biophilic organisms. Baby, that's what she said. Women are terrified. So we gonna go ahead, baby. I hope y'all be revisiting these chapters that we read, because she be giving word and business. She be giving the business. So when I went through, because that was the section that I read, I was like, oh my God, that's what we gonna call it. We gonna call the shit. We gonna call the event Breaking Taboos. So I Googled last night, Breaking Taboos. Child, there's 2 different movies. One is called Breaking Taboos, and then one is called Breaking the Taboos. Both of them are documentaries. One is about the taboo of suicide, and the other is about the taboo of drug addiction. I was like, well, goddamn. The section is still legitimate. It's still legit. That's the energy I want to do the event on, but I can't call it Breaking Taboos. So I have to come up with something equally charging, equally impactful as a title for this event. I'm already looking at a location that I might be able to get for next to nothing or free with the 501c3. It's a big park by a lake down here downtown with a dope ass stage. I don't know. I was even thinking about, like, just instead of calling it Breaking Taboos, like maybe calling it Taboo Breakers, because she says natural wild women are taboo breakers of the millennia. That might be it. I don't know. But so that was a long way of me saying that I'm still working on the proposal. But I'll still have it to you before the weekend is up, because we're still going to do this meeting. I got everybody's email. So if you emailed me yesterday or the day before, I got your email. Most of you, I responded to it. I will be sending you an email before the end of the weekend detailing the meeting time and the Zoom link for the meeting on Tuesday. So we can go ahead and set this shit off. But anyway, and if you have any ideas for the name of the event, so what I'm looking for is Revolutionary Gangster. That's what I'm looking for. You know, like, but not like Revolutionary Gangster. Let me put it like this. I'm looking for Evolutionary Gangster. That's what I'm looking for. Evolutionary Gangster. The title. So Breaking Taboos. That energy. I like that energy. I like the idea, because I mean, I go hard. I talk about my opposition to these organized religions that is violently opposed to the other, that they have been is just as enthusiastically opposed as I am to their shit. You understand? And so we got to call out all the witches. We got to call out all the root workers, all the healers, all the magicians, everybody on the periphery of normal society. We need to call all them motherfuckers out. We need to openly break taboos. Yes. So it's got to have flair. It's got to be sexy, but it's got to be rugged. So I'm open for suggestions. Also, if you have suggestions, email me, releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. Now I'm going to read 45 minutes. I wanted to talk to y'all for a minute today. So today we're at the section called, we're on 252. the section called Total Taboo and Repressive Desublimation. The customary way in which the ruling caste has maintained the total taboo has been deception. In liberal cultures, this has taken the form of trade-offs. Child, shrews can uncover this devious attack upon the touching powers of women by returning to McHughes's useful concept of repressive desublimation. Writing of the permissiveness of the affluent society, he discusses its effective repression of the sense of guilt. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, why did this woman write this book staring right into a crystal ball? Damn. God damn. Writing of the permissiveness of the affluent society, he discusses its effective repression of the sense of guilt. Y'all, this is so deep. Which would indicate a decline of shame and guilt feeling in the sexual sphere. He concludes, quote, and indeed, the exposure of the, for all practical purposes, naked body is permitted and even encouraged, and the taboos are pre and extramarital intercourse are considerably relaxed. Thus, we are faced with the contradiction that the liberalization of sexuality provides an instinctual basis for the repressive and aggressive power of the affluent society, end quote. And further, quote, the relaxation of taboos alleviates the sense of guilt and binds, though with considerable ambivalence, the free individual's libidinal, fuck, these goddamn, libidinally, basically she's talking about the goddamn libido. Individuals libidinally to the institutionalized fathers. On the other hand, if violation of taboos transcends the sexual sphere and leads to refusal and rebellion, whoa, the sense of guilt is not alleviated and repressed, but rather transferred. Not we, but the fathers are guilty. Ooh. In other words, desublimated sexuality within a social context that truncates intellectual and emotional powers can be used to reinforce the status quo. Thus, there is a conquest of transcendence. Oh my God. Damn. The result is the atrophy of the mental organs for grasping the contradictions and the alternatives. Quote. Okay, no, that was the quote. Clearly, the sort of sexual liberation Mark Hughes was discussing was basically about heterosexual genital sex. However, his reflections are a useful reminder of the patriarchal trick of relaxation of taboos. Listen, y'all, goddamn. Oh, fuck. Shit. The patriarchal trick of the relaxation of taboos. Shrews have to recognize that the reduction of potentially powerful gynergizing connections between women to only the sexual sphere in a climate of patriarchal permissiveness that would restrict women to this sphere of male-defined sexual deviance is also only repressive desublimation. Liberated women who are merely gay remain bound libidinally, to the institutionalized fathers. But if violation of the total taboo encompasses and transcends the sexual sphere and leads to refusal and rebellion that is holistic and elemental, guilt is indeed transferred to the fathers, and women can touch and move. Okay. Mm, yeah. She said we can take that fucking internalized guilt and place it exactly where the fuck it's supposed to be, with the institutionalized patriarchal fathers. The evil of banality and rites of appeasement. In keeping with the tradition of Descartes, modern philosophy's severed head, who not coincidentally flourished during the witch craze in Western Europe, the ruling caste of modern misogynists strives to sever women's heads, offering their victims a free choice of being head or body. This option is reflected in the offerings of moviegoers seeking and starving for some female images. In the early 80s, the film Personal Best was lauded as a candid and affirming statement about a lesbian relationship. Yet many sense that the bland dullness of Mariel Hemingway was reflective of the strategy of murder by boredom. The film exemplifies one of bureaucracy's images of women touching women, finality. If this means that everything is permitted, one might as well ask, why bother? Another film of the same period was On Golden Pond, starring Kate Hepburn, who, as always, is radiant with impassioned intelligence. Yet she gives it all to the service of her man. To many women, no doubt, Hepburn expresses more of what is elementally touching than could myriad a myriad of Muriels. Yet that message is muted by the roles into which Hepburn is cast. Typically, both of these films offer women less than holistic options. The result was reinforcement of the old programming, issuing and frustration. Such frustration is frequently denied, of course, partly out of knee-jerk guilt for not being able to enjoy such amusement. The banality is accepted as normal. A banality. While the idea of casting Hemingway as a lesbian may not initially have appeal, banal, the film itself and her insipid role in it can hardly be said to escape that description. While Hepburn's personality is anything but banal. Somebody Google that for me. Banal. Banal. Um, Her male identified role matches that description. Yet, compared to most films, these movies can appear to women starved for self-affirming images as refreshing treats. Spiritually starved women are served banality with just a touch of freshness, novelty, and they are grateful. Lacking in originality as to be obvious and boring. Thank you, T. So banality is lacking in originality as to be obvious and boring. Okay, so they are grateful for the little images that are self-affirming. Years ago, Hannah Arden wrote accurately of the fearsome word and thought defying banality of evil. I'm suggesting here that the banality itself can be evil in the sense that evil is whatever distracts. Ooh. What? Yeah, does anybody remember what Barbara Moore said? Evil. The definition of evil was. I know that's a reach, but does anybody remember what Barbara Moore in The Great Cosmic Mother said evil was? Here, Mary Daly says evil is whatever distracts. Barbara Moore said evil is that which prevents the emerging of the one. Y'all remember that quote? Evil is anything that promotes the emerging of the one. Come on. For patriarchally produced banality distracts, pulling us away from our original movement, our telos. Women seeking recreation and replenishment are distracted. One meaning of distract is to stir up or confuse with conflicting emotions or motives or unsettling words, to harass and confound. Damn. Yeah, we gonna have to do our own. Oh, she has a dictionary. So all these words in here that have been fucking us up, one of the books she wrote her own dictionary. So remember I was saying at the beginning of every chapter, she does this little thing where she gives her own personal definition for a word in the Webster's dictionary version of the word. Let me see if I can find it for this chapter that we're in. Okay, so this chapter that we were in, it was MAD, mad. So mutual assured destruction, and then she had her own version, mutual assured deduction. But she actually, so when it says whatever she is giving as a definition, it cites as Webster's first new intergalactic wikidictionary of the English language. That's actually a book. The Webster's first new intergalactic wikidictionary of the English language. Everybody got that? Webster's first new intergalactic wikidictionary of the English language. That's actually a book. So I gotta find it. Anyway, so she says, one meaning of the word distract is to stir up or confuse with conflicting emotions and motives or unsettling worries, to harass or confound. This confused, conflicted, confounded, thus confused, conflicted, confounded women return to the causers of confusion, craving consolation. Damn, that's deep. This is like Stockholm syndrome that she's talking about. Canned amusement, together with other phallic rituals to which ladies are invited, are rites of appeasement. Freud writes of rites of appeasement as a method of dealing with dismembered enemies. Quote, other peoples have found a means for changing their former enemies after their death into guardians, friends, and benefactors. This method lies in treating their severed heads with affection. When the sea dykes of Sarawak bring home a head from a successful head hunting expedition, for months after its arrival, it is treated with the greatest consideration and addressed with all the names of endearment of which their language is capable. The most dainty morsels of food are thrust into its mouth, delicacies of all kinds, even cigars. The head is repeatedly implored to hate its former friends and to love its new hosts, since it has now become one of them. Oh, God damn. Having inflicted dismemberment upon women, the amusers often treat severed heads and bodies with affection, addressing these with names of endearment. Dainty morsels and delicacies, including entertainment, are bestowed upon the severed parts, which are implored to hate women and love their hosts, since, having been dismembered, they have become one with them. Oh, shit. Women who have not lost our heads or our bodies, who are headstrong, increasingly find such rites of appeasement unappetizing. Listening to the names of endearment of which their language is capable, and having delicacies, even cigars or Virginia Slims, thrust into one's mouth, are judged to be inadequate compensation for drastic dismemberment. She is going the fuck ham. Even the most high-priced of pedestals are perceived as poor substitutes for the bodily psychic integrity. Headstrong women understand that only total taboo breaking can overcome the evil of banality. Appeasement, depression, and cyclic returning. Severed heads, having reason to believe that they are in a vulnerable position, commonly accept the dainty morsels forced upon them by their severers. Fortunately, however, unlike the murdered enemies allegedly decapitated by the sea dykes, millions of women reduced to the condition of psychic decapitation are in fact are in fact not yet physically murdered. One of the signs that life is still present is the ability to feel. The passions felt by decapitated women, however, are for the most part plastic. At best, they are potted. Of central significance is the plastic passion of depression. It is logical that all women within patriarchy should experience depression, and in varying degrees. Indeed, given the prevailing conditions, it is almost cause for alarm if a woman never feels depressed. For a state worse than this would be the non-sentient condition of a fulfilled fembod. The verb depress literally means to put down or overcome forcibly, crush, subjugate. Depressed women are not merely suffering from an agentless disorder, for women have been put down and overcome forcibly. Come on and make it plain. Come on and make this shit plain. Listen. She said, we are not suffering from some agentless disorder that's just in our head. Women have been put down and overcome forcibly, crushed and subjugated. An archaic definition of depression is abasement, humbling, degradation. That this condition is the logical result of the state of appeasement is clear from the following definition of the verb appease: to conciliate or buy off a potential aggressor by political or economic concessions, usually at the sacrifice of principles. The acceptance of dainty, deadly morsels at the sacrifice of principles yields depression. The definition of depression that is commonly applied within the economic sphere is also enlightening. It means reduction, diminution, impoverishment, or depreciation. Depreciation in activity, strength, amount, quality, force, yield, value, or significance. A depression in trade. Given the conditions of enforced reduction of women's activity, strength, amount of gynergy, quality, force, yield, value, and significance in the state of appeasement, it's naturally, or rather unnaturally, follows that there will be widespread experience of depression in the sense of the state of being below normal in physical or mental vitality. Insofar as a woman is still imprisoned within the state of appeasement, she suffers from the lowering of deep emotional vitality. She is below normal by pyrometric standards. She suffers from a lack of gynergy. In some cases, the crushing, subjugating, degrading blows of boredom have battered women into the extreme state of depression, defined as a mental disorder of psychoneurotic or psychotic proportions characterized by sadness, retardation of motor and certain vegetative processes, feelings of inadequacy, and self-depreciation, and often by suicidal attempts. This condition is on a continuum with the common state of appeased women. Appeasement of women is intended to make the depressed state acceptable. Oh, damn, because how else could you accept this shit? Damn. The appeasement of women is intended to make the depressed state acceptable, even appetizing, and certainly normal. At the same time, it functions to make plausible the blaming of women for this normal subnormality, for women appear appeased and even pleased. Damn. The acceptance of this blame sets the stage for a whole array of plastic passions. Paralyzed by all this plastic, women suffer from boredom, slide into resignation, and sometimes suffer from the unspeakable defeat, fulfillment. Since phallic fulfillment means more appeasement and more severing, the cycle is repeated endlessly. In the course of this returning, women do feel some natural passions, but these are pruned and potted. As long as women accept the appeasing payoffs from the paymasters, we stay in the cycle of depression, of severance from self. Only a change in the situation, the refusal of severance pay, and a drastic declaration of independence can stop the depressing cycle. The key to the power of refusal is the passion of rage. Baby. Let's see. I'm done. I'm done for the night. I know I talked a lot, but well, you know what? I'll read a little more. I'll read it. I'll read to about 6:30. Abasi. Okay, yeah, we only have a little bit left before the next chapter anyway. Okay, so I'll read to the next chapter. The raging race. Women sever ourselves from the state of severance by the force of righteous fury, unleashed rage. This passion unpots the potted passions and melts down the plastic ones. Potted love, desire, joy, hate, aversion, and sorrow, as well as potted fear, daring, hope, despair, and anger shoot forth, shattering the confining pots. Extending their roots and branches, they reach for their elemental connectedness with earth, air, water, and fire. Touched by the sweet earth, wild winds, rich rain, warm sun, they expand unendingly. Righteous rage makes love, desire, and joy realistic, unsentimental, unsatisfied with the appeasing sops and slops, fed to imprisoned plants, loving, desiring, rejoicing women, that is, lusty women, allow no limits to the qualitative expansion of our lust. Disdaining the dainty morsel served in the severed state of domestication, we drink deeply of wild elements and thrive and grow. Freed fury makes hate, aversion, and sorrow biophilic. Ooh. No longer twisted inward, devouring women's cells. God damn it. Oh shit. Listen, freed fury makes hate, aversion, and sorrow biophilic. No longer twisted inward, devouring women's cells. These passions purge our souls of horizontal violence. Our hate and aversion, moving past the token torturers who are also victims, stir us to end the cruel rule of the agents of aggression, applying ourselves to naming the real agents. Furies fueled by these passions are unappeasable. Our fire is unallayed or unallied, unassuaged by rites of appeasement. Our grief is for the earth, our sister, as well as for, let's see, our grief is for the earth, our sister, as well as our four crones as well as the four crones of our race. It melts and unfreezes tears, tearing open eyes to see what has been hidden and denied, touching ancient scars, uncovering wounds. We wash away infection of self-hate. Woo! The healing waters of our weeping gives us strength. Our words of wailing wash our souls with truth that cleanses while it clears the air we breathe. You listen. Ooh, Mary going off. Damn, hold on. Yes. Mary is going the fuck in. Okay. Rage fueled fear and daring combine in forming focused ferocity. Furies know that the ultimate fearful thing is loss of lust for life. Oh, shit. God. Fucking absolutely yes. Ooh. Rage fueled fear and daring combine in forming focused ferocity. Furies know that the ultimate fearful thing is the loss of a lust for life. Yes. And that this lust is lost and killed by compromise, by crumbling before our fears of lesser evils. The oh, the righteous fear of compromise is one source of haggard, dreadful daring. Furies dare also to reverse the reversals, to reverse the reversal contained in this word, compromise itself. For in its roots, this does not mean selling out, but simply promising together to spurn the spurious promises of our would-be procurers and appeasers. Raging women learn anew the meaning of faith, of fate, faithful to our promises to each other. We women, we can dare to recreate our fates to be spinners of stamina, the threads of life. Oh, y'all, how did I do this whole intro talking to you about just this? Oh my God, y'all. Hope and despair are sharpened by righteous rage. Hope and despair are sharpened also by righteous rage. Furies dispense with potted hopes, such as hopes for equality within patriarchy, recognizing this to be a contradiction in terms. In this sense, we despair, that is, turn our energies away from what had formerly been perceived as good and which was an illusion. Rage at having been deceived and duped into expending energy in the pursuit of false hopes emboldens women to reach and hope for more arduous and ultimately more real goods. Rage, then, as a forceful reaction to realistic assessment of our caste conditions, releases pent-up energy, which can then express itself as original creative hope. Anger is unpotted and transformed into rage and fury when the vast network that constitutes the context of our oppression is recognized. It is further transformed when the positive network of elemental being is glimpsed behind the foreground. As the realm of pyrospheres is realized, anger bursts forth as creative rage. God. Ooh. Yes. Yes. In this realm, passions are truly movements, verbs. We experience the melting down of noxious nouns embedded in our psyches, which are the plastic passions. Depression is converted into expression. Guilt, anxiety, frustration, and other lumps of fixated feelings are broken into their real components. The hate, aversion, sadness, fear, despair, and rage that really move. Fulfillment melts down simply into nothing. This process cannot happen at all at once, of course, but each movement of being is experienced as an epiphany, an autophany. Pyromancers learn to live simultaneously in many dimensions. Thus, the passions that have evil as their objects, such as sorrow, fear, and daring, do not and should not despair. As powerful forms of emotion, they have a place within a realistic biophilic context. The same principle applies to rage. Pyromantic, creatively raging women are racy women. Racy means having the distinctive or characteristic flavor, quality, or excellence of a race or kind. Racy also means full of life, zest, or vigor, lively and spirited. Racy, raging women then are lusty, having the distinctive qualities of the race of women. To comprehend raciness, we can recall that the race of women is many dimensional. We have seen in the introduction that that race means the act of rushing onward, run. The distinctive flavor, quality, and excellence of racy women then implies movement, the act of rushing onward. Moreover, race means a strong or rapid current of water. The raciness of the race of women involves strength, speed, and focus. Also, race means a heavy or choppy sea, especially one produced by the meeting of two tides. The elemental raciness of the race of women involves wild and warring movement and tidal meetings and encounters. Clearly, then, the racy, raging race of women will require the realizing of volcanic virtues as we move deeper into the pyrospheres. Chapter 7. So I'm going to end there for tonight. We'll pick up tomorrow. Nope, not tomorrow. Monday. We will pick up on Charita. Pick up on Monday, or resume on Monday with the reading of chapter 7, breaking out volcanic virtues. So, for those of you who are tuning in late or don't know what I'm talking about, this is Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. We will be reading this book until its end, which I don't know. It looked like we ain't even getting nowhere. It looked like this, I don't know, 5 days ago, but we're reading to the end. For those of you who are interested in participating in the book club that we're starting next Wednesday, that is Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're interested, email me and put in the subject header book club so I can give you the information about how to tap into the book club, which is going to be facilitated via Zoom. It will be a private book club because I got trolls who be invading my shit lately, so I can't just do a mass blast of my Zooms anymore. So if you're interested, send me an email at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. Put in the subject header, book club info, or what have you. Some of you have already reached out. I will send you the Zoom sometime this weekend. That is Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the book club, where we will start discussing pretty rigorously Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. You guys have a wonderful weekend. There's a lot happening in the world. There's a lot happening in LA and all different types of extremes. Tons of demonstrations scheduled to happen this weekend, but it's also Dia de los Muertos weekend, so there are lots of exciting and fun events of the Mexica people this weekend. So whatever you're into, whatever you're doing, be mindful of yourself. You understand? Care for yourself, and be prosperous, be bountiful, be blessed, be fortunate, but all aligned with justice. Okay? My name is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Everybody that tuned in, thank you for joining. Thank you for rocking with me the whole time. If you remained, I will see you again on Monday for the reading of the book, Sunday at 11 a.m. for the service of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, where I'm going to be talking to y'all about the good book and the end of times prophecies hidden within. You understand? So, let's get into it. See you then. Have a great weekend.